right. Here is actually the Laser Beam remix of I Forget Machel Montano featuring Nikita Brown. And this takes us to the beginning of an amazing interview. I have two amazingly talented folks inside studio. I've got Machel Montano, lead actor of Bazodee. And I've also got Natalie Perera, who is the lead actress of the film Bazodee. So, first of all, let's talk a little bit, Machel. How did it all begin for you? You said it was like 10 years ago this project came to you.
Yeah, this was actually 10 years in the making. A producer from Tobago who lives in New York, Ansel McCain, and his partner, Claire Ince, who was the writer, and she is a Bajan. They came to me and they emailed me and they wanted to have a meeting. And we had a meeting and they said, look, we have this film that we want to write, we want to produce, and we want it to be based on, we're inspired by your music, some of your songs like Real Unity and You and One More Time.
Right.
And we would love to, have you act a role in this story, but it's a love story about Trinidad and Tobago, and, the music will be intertwined in the story. And I was just like, they kind of came at me hard, so I was like, yeah definitely, I'll take it up. And it was a journey from then to now.
And it kind of all started to come together in 2014, like 8 years after they first came to you. How did it go from 10 years to 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of, trying to find the right elements between those 8 years. We had the idea, we had the script. They gave me the script. I really, was on board when I read the entire script. I went home and I read it. I was laughing and I was so amazed to see something, written in Trinidad about this, So I was really into it. But then, Claire and Ansel were very keen on having the right leading lady, the right director, and the search was on. And it took years to find the right people at the right price and find the funding and to find how to get everybody together, because you wanted a high quality cast and crew to make such a for the vision that they had. And it took us all that time, and then we started filming in 2015. So we announced in 14, but we started in 15.
So let's get to Natalie. Natalie, how was the process for you to get involved with this film?
Right, well, I auditioned for it. My agent contacted me and said, I've got a script for you, read it, have a look, tell me if you're interested, and go in and do your thing. And I read it and I saw this piece about a woman. Number one, you don't really see things from the perspective of a woman and an Asian woman. And I was like, definitely I want this gig. It's shooting in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to go. So I went in and I auditioned. And
did you know about Trinidad and Tobago before the role came to you?
I knew about it. I mean, I knew it existed then. I'm not good. I have a little idea of the world map.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, no, I knew. And also I remembered my main thing with Trinidad and Tobago was how beautiful the women were from...
you could be taken as a Trini, Yes, you
well,
can.
Thank you. I find that...
Because you're gorge.
The people.
Very complimentary.
And Kabir Bedi, one of the most talented actors, I would say, Bollywood/Hollywood/world. How was it having him play your dad in the film?
Well, it was an awesome experience. I mean, the man just constantly gave me little tips, really, really tiny little tips, but they were really, really helpful. And when I actually saw the last cut, I was like, okay, I see why he did that. And why he gave me these little tips, and I will carry those with me throughout my entire career. Not to mention the fact that he was a James Bond villain, which is the coolest thing you possibly can be. And I aspire to be a James Bond villain one day, big time.
Not to mention your connection with your dad and him playing your dad. And
my dad was a massive fan of Octopussy and James Bond, and we were watching it when I was really, really young little girl. And I said to my dad, "Oh look, there's an Asian man in one of these English films."
And you had no idea who he was.
Well, no, I didn't. I just saw him in Octopussy, and I was. Yeah. I remembered him
when
he's
I
huge.
Knew. He's huge.
He's huge.
Well, now I know. He's huge.
All right, now how hard was it to find the right lead actress for this film, Machel?
Well, I mean, Natalie is just telling me there were 45 girls in the in the audition room. I didn't know that up to this day. I was sent 3 choices. And there was one singing Tiny Whiny, and because they had to act and sing, and, I had to look, and they wanted my opinion on who you feel has the fire. And Natalie was really singing this mantra You know, she's telling us today is like one of the favorite ragas of Mahatma Gandhi, and she was singing it, and I just felt the spirituality, and to me something about it, you know, remind me of that essence of, you know, mantra in soca. Things like Om Shanti Om, and I know that soca music has that call and response. You listen to Soca Baptist.
It's like a jambi.
Yeah, that thing. I felt that, and I said, you know, she would definitely understand, you know, the songs and the music and how to play the role, and I gave them my choice, and my choice was Natalie.
And what is one thing you learned during the filming of the movie? Maybe to not blink as much. Like, what are some of your things that you learned?
The main thing I learned is less is more. Less is more. You know,
so it's not like all of this.
Yeah, it's not. You can't go out there. You can't be flaming or blaring or you know, big. You just take it down. You know, get in your Denzel mode and just let it be in the eyes. Just let it be in the mouth. And I had that coaching from Natalie. I had that from Todd Kessler, the director. You know, and I went out there really thinking, I have to act. But really and truly, you have to not act. You have to just feel. And, you know, make sure you put yourself into your lines.
Well, I'll tell you what acting is. Acting is, according to one of the most famous acting books, is living truthfully through imaginary circumstances.
Yes.
Right? And that's exactly what I think you did in the movie.
That's what I said in one of the interviews this morning, because they asked me about, you know, how I play this role. And, you know, one part of the movie is about a soca artist who left Trinidad to go to London to make it big, and didn't make it big, and come back home and was despondent. Yeah. You know, and that has happened to me, you know, 3 times over in my career. Going out to try to make it big, and, you know, coming back home not really figuring out how to do it. But every time I come back home, something got me back into music, and I made better and better music, and I was able to move forward my Trinidad history and my sound and my culture forward, you know. So all in it.
And what is your favorite memory filming Bazodee, Natalie?
It's hard to like just pick one memory.
Give me a top 3
the
then.
entire thing
Going
was
to Machel Monday. No.
Actually, one of the perks was that we got to come to all of your fetes, and I'd never been to anything like that in my life. And I was
energy.
We had to shoot the next day. I had like the voice. I was like this.
So that was like the little shot with your kind of like party, and he was like behind you, and you were like. Like that?
That was all acting, but for me it was such a joy to see them see a fete for the first time, and they had about 3 or 4 fetes. They were going crazy. I mean, not just the cast but the crew, and you just go, Machel, we can't believe that this is like this. And you know, it was really nice.
Yeah,
especially if you haven't seen anything like that before.
Did you get a chance to play mass when you were here this year?
I didn't, but I'm really wanting to come. I want to come in February.
Now, speaking about that, one of our Starholics actually sent us a question for you, Machel. Are you going to be in fantasy in 2017?
Most definitely likely. Most definitely, as always. You know?
Ricardo asked that question. Mayank Ramkali, who is a professional tabla player, also sent us a question. He wanted both of you all to sing a song, and he played tabla for you all, and I dance, apparently. Whenever you're ready. He wants the both of you all to sing a song. He played tabla, probably just tabla, no other instruments involved. And I do maybe Kathak, Odissi, Bharatanatyam or something in between.
Well, I have spent many hours with Natalie behind the microphone, and she's a very quick learner. And she know a couple soca songs. You know, and even this one playing in the background, I forget, which is, you know, exclusively released for the movie and written for the movie. So that could happen. That could happen.
Could happen.
I've always told Natalie, if she just focus on it really deep and believe in herself, she could be a Rihanna. I think she has the skills.
I would say MIA, only because it's you know,
Asian. Yeah, I really like that.
I would say MIA. Friends, don't forget, it's opening in 2 days. Bazodee, Machel Montano, Natalie Perera, they're both in studio of Star 947 HG. Such a pleasure having them in my company today on Star 947 HG's Cruise Control. And guess what? We've got a few more questions for them. First of all, I want to know, okay, we know it's going to be released on Wednesday in Trinidad and Tobago, but what about the rest of the world? What about the rest of the Caribbean? Where can we?
We had a good run in New York, in New York City for the premiere, which was at the PlayStation Theater, and that was because we had, you know, we had acquired an international distributor who decided to start, you know, on the world and start big, you know, in Times Square. We had such a successful run. After that, we tried to get it as quickly as possible to the Caribbean, and we had to do all those deals. And I keep saying we,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here watching them do it and be advised. So the release on Wednesday is simultaneously going to be released in a few islands like Aruba, Curacao, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. Martin, Antigua is going up on Friday, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, Grand Cayman, Suriname, and of course we have Toronto coming online I think on the 30th of September, the end of this month. Toronto been screaming, so we trying to, after these islands and these set of releases, we'll focus on the UK.
Okay. And
there's a film festival, CTFF, going on in Toronto right now, and we have a sold out premiere there, sold out viewing. So viewing for our Scotiabank crew, who is taking up the whole,
one of the sponsors.
They're taking up the whole digital, the whole IMAX.
Okay.
IMAX is also launching some Gemstone theaters tomorrow, which we'll have a lot of our sponsors and people who helped us make this film, possible. So,
all right. Now we all know you have fans like all over the world, but what do you think their views on the film, or maybe your acting skills, or maybe the interaction? Because it's an interracial relationship. What kind of reaction do you expect from your fans?
I think from New York, we can say, like, from the response that I saw in New York, people loved it. People were having fun. They were getting out of their seats. People enjoy universal love stories.
Screaming.
Yeah, there was screaming. Oh my God, there was so much screaming.
We had a screening at the Brooklyn Museum, and Natalie and I had a Q&A after, and the audience, they just loved it. They lapped it up. They loved the chemistry. At the end of the day, people will think what they think about the story and about your acting and about, the different cultural clashes.
Yeah.
But, the fun that you have watching the movie and the good time, I think, is what is important to us.
What is, Natalie, what are some of the, maybe one thing, I'll ask you one thing. What is one thing nobody knows about you?
Nobody knows about me?
Yeah.
That I still sing in the mirror and pretend to be Beyonce.
Which song?
Now everyone knows
Single
that.
Ladies?
No, not Single Ladies.
Put a ring on it.
No, I've been drinking.
That's my favorite song. That is money.
They could get into me. I've been thinking. That one.
Maybe y'all could do like a Chutney Soca version.
Nah. Drunk in Love.
I'm shaking from telling you that. I'm shaking.
I think we all kind of do that.
I think the point about the movie and about our relationship is the highlight. This is not only a story about a strong woman and her beliefs and her challenges, but this is about Trinidad and Tobago culture.
Yeah.
We are a cosmopolitan society, diverse, and we have love that bring a lot of couples together. We are like, the Douglas Nation. So we taking that story out there and we taking it boldly, and this is when you're Bazodee over something, music and carnival and love can make you do things that you never expect, So
any final words? Invite your fans to come and see the film starting Wednesday.
Yes.
Come and see the film starting Wednesday.
Come and see Natalie winding up to some soca. Wednesday we in Movie Town, of course, Caribbean Cinemas, Empire and National in San Fernando. On Wednesday we actually flying to Tobago to do a special screen and launch it in Tobago at Movie Town. So just go out there and support. Go and watch it once, go and watch it twice, carry your family, go back again, just make the numbers go up.
Just this morning, DJ Danny and I, because doing double duty today, inside the morning show, she decided, you know what, Ash, I think we should do like a team day to go. So Team TTRN to watch the film. What do you think?
That's how a lot of people went to the film in America. A lot of people in LA, a lot of people in New York, the whole team, the whole office, the whole crew.
Because it was bringing people, it was giving them a sense of home when they're abroad. I think that's really, really important. It's important to support your people, your music, people of diversity, new stories to be told, new faces to be seen up on main screen cinema. I think that's the most important thing.
And he has fans all over the world. But final question, I can't not ask this question before we go. You were just in Kenya with some huge names like Superwoman Lily Singh. How's that experience for you, and what did you come away with?
Well, it's always a pleasure to go to Africa, or, you know, for me, I go to Africa, I go to India, I go to these places that I feel I am part of and I feel is a part of my country, and you know, I could learn and see whatever I could bring back to be inspired and really continue that legacy of, you know, where we came from, our ancestors, our roots. It was beautiful, you know, to be amongst these people. We were very humbled by, you know, the process of, you know, educating people in the rural areas and helping them, you know, not just giving them handouts or giving them clothes or giving them food, you know, but actually, you know, teaching them how to build and how to educate themselves and helping them with
to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, well, you know, to just give them a way to live, you know, to make their own.
There's a different way.
Yes, and actually, you know, we were learning much more from those people, you know, the Maasai warriors and the way they live. We actually learned a lot that we could go out there again and spread the word, you know. So.
I was actually watching Aliens, and then I went on to TED Talks, and there was this young man, I can't remember what country he was from, maybe from Kenya, and he created a way to show that lights were like constantly moving, and that was a deterrent for lions. So now, because of that one young man, we have no more deaths of livestock, and we have lions not being killed as well. So one man could make a difference. That's pretty much what I wanted to get at.
It's close to the Maasai warriors. You know, the Maasai warriors that we met. You know, they were these two young ones, and, you know, they're coming up in life and they're getting technology and they're understanding life. And a big part of the Maasai warrior tradition was to go out there and kill a lion. You had to be a man to become a man and be a warrior.
To be initiated.
And a lot of them, you know, they have reached a point where they actually convince their elders to no longer take the life of the lions and to actually, you know, let them go to school and get an education and get a degree. And when one of them got a degree as a Maasai warrior, he said, "I have killed a lion."
Pretty much.
You know? Yeah.
I love that.
Like
all right, guys.
Like Bazodee. this is the Trinidad and Tobago film industry, you know, killing their lion.
Yes,
you know, because
I hear you.
I must big up the local cast and crew. Cindy Daniel, Rem Bongshan, Chris Smith,
Tennille
Nwalo. All these people really did a great job, and we celebrate them tomorrow. So go out and support.
And we will be celebrating you all hopefully from Wednesday.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes, before the weekend comes, we are sitting on to watch this, sir. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Machel Montano and Natalie Perera, for passing through Stanley 47 HD's Cruise Control. It was a pleasure having you, and all the best, all the success in the world. And I know we're going to love the film.
Yes, you will.
So, Starholics from Wednesday, eh?
Thank you. Big up to Claire Ince, Ansel, McCain,
and Todd
Kessler, and of course Lorraine O'Connor, who is the local producer of the film.
Awesome.